Hi gang, Diana Trout here today with a little tutorial on making fabric paper. I think it's also called paper cloth. I can't remember. There's a lot of different names for it, but it's a really easy technique that results in, can you see this? Pieces of combination fabric and cloth. It's muslin on the back and paper, lightweight papers glued to the front. And it's really nice, sturdy paper. I use it for artwork. There's a piece that has not been finished yet, but you can see that I've done some hand stitching on this, and you can also do machine stitching. I just haven't done anything yet on this piece. There's the back. It becomes more pliable as you work with it. And of course you can't throw it in the wash, but you can certainly make artwork out of it. And I just made a book, a long stitch book with a woven cover made from paper cloth. So this is an upcoming class of mine, and I thought I'd show you how to make the fabric cloth before the class begins, so you have that information at your fingertips. Let's get started. I have a piece of muslin here. It's just a lightweight fabric, and really any lightweight fabric will do the trick. And I have it on a piece of plastic so that after I'm done working with this piece I can move it aside to dry. See, here is glues that you could use. You could use this PVA tacky glue. You'd want to mix these with some water to make it like a milk consistency. I had prepared, I always have this on hand for bookbinding projects. I have art paste from Elmer's. It's methyl cellulose. It's also available in art supply stores. The art paste is less expensive, and it's the same stuff, and you just mix, it comes in a powder, and you mix that with water per the instructions, and then I mix the methyl cellulose after it's been mixed with PVA. This is for my bookbinding projects, and it will work for this as well until that's a bit thick for this. So I can just add, I'm just going to go ahead and add some water to this mix until I have the right consistency. As you can see, this is just not rocket science. Any kind of glue mixed to the correct consistency will work. If you use straight methyl cellulose, it simply won't stick. I've tried that, and it's just not going to stay together for you. So you need something stronger than methyl cellulose. So, okay, my glue is set, my fabric is set, and I have here some tissue papers. I also have some very lightweight book papers. They're very thin. That's the trick, is to use thin papers so that they can be completely saturated. At least at first. You can move on, after you have a good base going, you can move on to a thicker paper for this. So we're just going to saturate this whole piece of fabric. Okay, you also want to rag around because your fingers are going to get gluey in that process. So my fabric is now saturated, and I can just go ahead and lay down the paper, and again, saturate that. And you'll notice some wrinkling, and that's, I mean, you can work around that. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think it gives a bit of personality to the piece. Slop that glue on to make sure it's going to stay put. There's a piece of book paper under here. I'm just going to, just going to make sure that's down. And so it's a sloppy process. It's a sloppy process. Okay, that one is really crooked. But let me see if I can straighten it out a little bit. And then, you know, you see stuff happening that you like, so you can push things around to some degree. Make sure everything's down. I'm finding a piece here that didn't get down. Everything should be wet and down well. Now I'm going to stay with this because I like it. I like this little bit of white sticking up here, but I'm a kind of a minimalist sometimes. So if you're not, go for it. I'm going to paint this. I'm going to get some color on this when I'm done here. So you use your own aesthetic when it comes to I'm liking that linear quality. Okay. Okay. Just a little bit more here. I'll just tear a piece off. Just cover it all completely. And at this point, you can set it aside to dry, or you can actually go into it with some paint. Okay, so I've got some liquid acrylics here. It's quinacridone red, and I think I'll put some drops of yellow in there. As you see, I'm being extremely careful with this. And some turquoise. You got kind of a red, yellow, blue thing going there. So I'm just going to try to make sure your brush is soft for this, by the way, because you don't want to be ripping the paper. Now that is a little thick, so I'm just going to go in with some water. And spread that around. I might have put too much paint on this. No problem. Let me get my rag and pick some up. Spread it around a little bit like that. So you can see this, again, this is just such a simple, playful process outside of using too heavy paper or too heavy fabric. There's really not something you can do wrong here. And that's it. I mean, I go over that with some more accents once it's dry, but that's it. Fabric, cloth,